What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with a new comic book day haul. Now, before I show this stuff, which I don't purport that this is going to be a long stream today, but just wanted to jump on live. What's going on? Agu Rhythm up in the house. But yeah, so Husky Purple. Yeah, sure. But go ahead, smash that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and the bell notification so that when videos like this go live ever so randomly, you will be one of the first people to know and can make the conscious decision as to whether or not to watch now or later, but as long as you watch it. We appreciate you. Appreciate the folks that are already up in the house. We got Remy Q Studios. What is going on? We're still waiting for Remy Q to show those dance moves that he said he had. Might just be a lot of talk. Ben Compton up in the house, straight out of Compton, right? Legion of Comics, what's going on, Mark? How are you? Tapia's family, yo, what's up? Captain Comics got me. Happy Valentine's Day. A little different there, but happy birthday to you too. I appreciate it. This was something I did. I did a race, a run not that long ago, and this was a shirt that I got for that. Vincent McLean, the Comic Machine up in here. What is going on? If you haven't checked out Vincent, go check out his channel. I think and you might have already hit it by now, but I think he was close to hitting that 300 mark. Just a couple of subs away from that. I know Agu, you are a mod. If you could drop a link, if you're in a position to be able to do that, that would be appreciated. So yeah, I mean, everybody got to work today, and hopefully everybody got a chance to go by the LCS and hit up the comic shop. I know I did. Got to keep those priorities straight, right? And that's what I did. Also was able to pick up a couple of oldies, but goodies for myself, and then some for an upcoming show that I'm doing. So the upcoming show is I'm going to be talking with the Varangian Vigilante about Conan. I know it's a surprise to anybody that's familiar with his channel, but he likes Conan, and probably sprinkle a little bit of Red Sonja in the mix there too. But as per usual, when I do one of the talking videos, I normally give away some comic that is connected in some kind of way to what we're talking about. And so since we're going to be talking about Conan, you guessed it, we're going to be giving away some Conan. So I've picked up this today. This is Avengers No Road Home number 6, and it's signed by Mark Waid. It is number 31 of 40. It's one of those Dynamic Forces certificates there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, beware the Gray Man. So there you go. Las Cruces, 1971. What is going on? Speaking of Conan, anyone else reading the Sumerian from a Blaze? Okay. Yeah, so I went to pick that book up, and because it had the Wolverine homage cover, which they've been having several homages. One to the King Size Hulk one, I believe, which I'll show one of those in a minute. But it was a little too risque for me, and so I had to put it back down there. So that is one. That will be one of the giveaways on that show. So if you haven't already, hit that bell notification so that when that show goes live, because you'll have to be there to win that particular giveaway. Also going to give away a King Conan 21. Nothing special about this book that I know of, just an old Conan from back in the day. And also got a Conan Serpent War number 1, and little Moon Knight action there. And then also Conan the Barbarian Exodus number 1. So those are going to be the giveaways. I've got some Red Sonja. If they come in by then, they're going to be thrown in there too. But yeah, so be sure to check that out. It's always fun to learn what other people know about different comic characters that we might not be familiar with or as familiar with as the other person. And we'll be showing some books off, and that's always fun as well. And so yeah, Slim Comics and more. What's going on? Steven Spot, how are you and Spock and Worf doing? Hopefully well. And I see Agu dropped the link for Vincent McLean, the Comic Machine. And Legion of Comics says posted today. Yeah, the video, I noticed it was kind of grainy, but yeah, he's going to be giving away a First Apocalypse for his. So go check him out as well. Freaky Louie, what's going on with you? Man, I don't know. I might be fresh out of dad jokes after yesterday. So, but we shall see. New comic book day. So I picked up Star Wars: The High Republic. Everything with Star Wars right now is super hot. So I did pick up 2 copies of this. One I'll sell on my Saturday auction. I plan on being on Thunder God's channel tomorrow night for an auction, in which case I might sell it there. But if you hit me up on IG, if you didn't get one, I can sell it like that too. I picked up this Star Wars Bounty Hunters, and I was thinking that it wasn't that long ago that the newest issue came out. I don't typically collect these collected moments covers just because I don't want to get into having 2 or 3 covers of this particular series. Normally the A covers are a little bit better to me, but I do like this. For Christmas, I got my wife the Connected Pop and of Han and Leia in this particular scene. And on one side, you know, I wrote "I love you," and then on the other side I said "I know." So, but anyway, so I picked that up. Digging in the dollar bins, found this homage to King Size Hulk #1. This is Incredible Hulk number something 112, and I was thinking that it took on the numbering for Hulk. It's got to, and this was right after World War Hulk, and they changed the title to Hulk for a while. And when I went to put it in CLZ, it did not show that. So I wonder what the deal was with that. Funny thing is, this is an Art Adams cover, which I didn't realize when I picked it up. But if you see right there, it says Art Adams with apologies to Mr. Steranko. So I was like, it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. It's like, okay, I gave you an homage, but it might kind of suck. So, you know, what do you do? I think Hellions is one of the best X titles, if not the best X titles. It's a fun read. There's some, you know, a lot of thinking that goes on. Is do the ends justify the means? Type of deal, kind of like that. And also like this Infinity cover. And so that's really cool. Just Infinity and beyond, beyond, beyond. Big Will has arrived there. He has arrived. So everybody shut him. So see says Spock and Meta got engaged. So then we got Star Wars number 11. So this has been telling the tale of that. I don't know if she had a thing with Moff Tarkin or she just had this like adoration of him or admiration of him. I don't know, but anyway, that's kind of telling that story there. And then we got Snake Eyes Dead Game. So Rob Liefeld. I think this is only going for 1 more issue. I got the first couple. There was one that was a Storm Shadow homage to Purple Rain cover. That was a Tyler Kirkham exclusive. This I just elected to go with the Rob Liefeld. I had wanted to pick up the one that he done an homage to New Mutants 88 or 89, but I just haven't picked it up yet because I got to specifically order this, and then the other ones they're through shops, and I just hate to pay that much for a Rob Liefeld cover. Not that I'm dissing on Rob Liefeld; he has his place and certainly his fan base. I like it, but I just don't like it that much, if that makes sense. Looks like UPS is on a future show. Oh, maybe. So then we got Walking Dead Deluxe number 8. I keep saying that I'm going to be letting this go, that I'm going to just get the trades. If I'm interested in Walking Dead because I didn't get into it the first time, then I'm going to just get the trades. But it's just so easy to say, okay, yeah, click it, and I'll get this when I come in there. The David Finch cover's been great. Been enjoying the story. but it's just the room, the space wise. I think you feel me here. You feel me here. You, Vincent McLean says, I picked up a $2 Liefeld book today. You paid a lot for that, didn't you? Yeah, so, he's got his covers. He's obviously got his fan base. I mean, he's still working in the industry after all this time. And Archie Comics actually just signed him on to reinvent or reboot their hero line. So that they had back in the day. So should prove interesting. Some covers, it tickles that nostalgic funny bone, and then some covers I go, what was I thinking in the 90s? What was I thinking? Cable with pouches on galore. And then sometimes he's on par because he's like, he'll make fun of himself, which is always fun. I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, I mean, what's that about? So, other times he gets a little defensive. So then we got the next Batman, number 3, the next Batman. So this has been an interesting read. Despite Mark at Legion of Comics has attempt to lure me down a rabbit hole, I have heard just this wide plethora of reviews on this stuff, and some just hate it. And then others are like, yeah, it's okay. It's been okay. It's been a good story, good read. I kind of like the idea of having the stories like the smaller stories. It keeps things interesting. Some of the new writers that I'm not familiar with, I think they're really doing some good work. But anyway, I just don't know if it's $7.99 worth of good work. That's my angst, which I'm sure that I felt that same way when they went from $1 to $1.25 and $1.50, and then $2.99, where DC said they were holding the line. They didn't hold it long enough, and then went the way of $3.99. And it seems that, as with the $2.99 to $3.99 deal, Marvel is going to follow suit when DC comes out of this future state stuff. So I don't know. It might be another change in the industry. Vincent McLean says he's insane on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, like, for instance, Bueller is a fan of Rob Liefeld, and Bueller said something kind of in jest or whatever like that, and Rob Liefeld blocked him. So what do you do? Rob Liefeld, by the way, liked one of my posts. I did a post of the Cable Mezco figure that I got that lights the eye up, that I got from Creamer Cash Comics in Huntsville, Alabama. And I did tag him on it, but he did like it. So there you go. My claim to fame. So here's the other High Republic book. They didn't have, this was the last one on the shelf. So had I not been there early enough, I wouldn't have got it. And somehow I missed putting this on my pull. But Firepower number 8 has been a really good story. I think it's really well paced. The art kind of had to grow on me a little bit, but I think it works. But yeah, it tells a really cool story. It's got a lot of Iron Fist vibes to it. But it's well paced enough to tell that story and yet keep you interested. It's action paced. So there you go. Been digging some Firepower. It's kind of weird how they've done it with the prelude and a graphic novel, but hey, let me change things up a little bit. So I was looking for some other stuff and ended up in the back issue bins. Picked up this Batman New 52. So I have 1 through 52, which is the whole set of Batman the New 52. But I did not have the annuals. So I picked up number 2, annual number 3, and annual number 4. So I picked this book up. I think somebody I know needs this book to help complete their run. It's a beautiful Stephanie Hans cover, but I've already got it. but I bought it because they didn't answer my Instagram message on time. So I just went ahead and bought it. I said, if it's not the end of the world if they didn't have it and I was off on the number, because I can just sell it, on one of my auctions. Was digging through the signature books and found this. This one was signed. That book was signed by Bob Layton, which is a cool signature to have. Don't get me wrong. I just got several of his signatures, and I didn't want to pay $9 for it. So, but in seeing that, reminded me about it. So I went back to the regular bins and found an unsigned copy of it for $2.84. Very weird how they do the pricing. They used to have a guy at the LCS that would price in the cost of the board and bag, so that you came up with this oddball pricing, and they never went back and changed it. But yeah, Barry Windsor Smith goodness right here. Needed me some Barry Windsor, more Barry Windsor in my life. And I was on Thunder God's channel, and him and X Collect were talking about some spec on some of Scarlet Witch's backstory. And this book came up, and that is Avengers 187. So this is a tale of how the High Evolutionary, they end up getting up there with the High Evolutionary and Wendigore Mountain and all that kind of stuff. So 186 is the big book. 187 is the next to the big book. I couldn't get a 186. They didn't have it, but I was able to pick up a 185, which leads into obviously 186. So I got 2 of the 3 books. So that was pretty cool. Probably going to read them and then sell them. I don't plan on keeping them. So I'll probably just sell them in the auction, but it was kind of a cool pickup there. Also, I got some AOKs from Remy, the comic book poser, the Collector P. What's going on, Collector P? How are you? Vincent McLean, are you at 300 yet? You at 300? Let's get this man to 300 subs. Let's get him up to 300 subs. I'm sure there's somebody in here that's not subscribed to Vincent. So Remy the comic book poser reached out to me. He noticed that I had been collecting some foreign variants, or foreign editions rather, of some books, and he had a pack. I think they had to do with school, and so he said, hey, you get some more enjoyment out of this than I would. So it was in a pack, and I cut the pack open, and these were the 4 books that were in there. Now, I don't really collect every foreign edition. Obviously, that is way too big of a rabbit hole, more like a cliff, or, than a rabbit hole. But I do collect ones for covers that I like, or particular characters / sets. I try to Freaky Louis said he's already ahead of the game there, man. He said he's already subbed you up yesterday. So I tried to narrow it down to like big covers. Y'all might have seen my Instagram post for my Hulk 181. So I'm going to get a few for Tomb of Dracula 10, some for I want to get the rare Werewolf by Night, Werewolf by Night 32, and some other stuff like that. So it was kind of it was really cool. Now this is a cool Mark Brooks cover. Mark Brooks is one of those ones I really like his artwork. And this is the Ant-Man story. It was kind of a goofy story, but the covers are cool. So this was nice to get that on an artist that you like. I actually think I have the English version of that. Now, this one was one of the cooler ones, or probably the coolest one of the bunch, was this Thor 20. And so I have the English version of this. And of course, this is an homage to Thor 337. I think it says, it says after WS or Walt Simonson. So, and then there's another Thor that's a Blood Axe, where he does that same thing. There is a Jenica one that I have where she done the same thing. There's more than that, but those are the ones that I have. So when I got this one, a foreign edition of a comic that I like to get homages of, I was like, man, you can't get better than that. Other than being able to read Spanish. I can stumble my way through, but I'm not fluent. by no means. Now, then we got Daredevil number 27. Daredevil 27. And then Astonishing X-Men number 7. I believe that's a Mike Deodato cover, which I love his art. I also have the English version of this. I have that whole set of Astonishing X-Men. And so that was really cool as well. So shout out to Remy the Comic Book Poser. If you're not sub him up. I think he's actually doing an auction tonight. He does one on Sunday nights now, and he does like videos almost every single day talking about books he is getting and all that kind of stuff. I think he released a Grail haul either today or yesterday. So I was checking that out while I was on the road. Don't tell nobody, but I was watching it while I was driving down the road. I picked this up on the eBay. So as y'all might know, that I am working on my Batman run. So Batman, I've got Batman 200 something, 713, which is the last one in that run. And let's see right here. So I've been trying to really collect it organically. I've said this many times before, but organically meaning just random. If I see it on Instagram or YouTube auction, then I pick it up that way, or pick it up out in the wild, but not specifically going to eBay. It's much funner doing it the other way. But if I'm only a couple to being in a large sequential number, then I will pick them up on eBay. I'll just say, hey, let's screw it. Let me just go ahead and get that. So that's what it was with this one. So this is Batman 286. So really cool Joker cover. Joker fighting Joker. Yeah, this is 2 Jokers before there were 3 Jokers, right? And I don't know what the story on it is, but really cool cover. And so I've got 269 through 713. So I only need 2 to have 262 through 713. So, and then that way I'm working my way backwards. So that's my goal, to complete all the Batman 200 to 713 this year. K-Dog, what's up? What's up? What's up? Johnny Funko. Talking about Funkos. I don't know if your last name's really Funko. That'd be really kind of funky, right? Yeah. Freaky Louie, I told you I was out of dad jokes, but when you got 6 kids, you're a lot of dad, right? So, you got to have the dad jokes to go along with it. You got to tell jokes to keep yourself from going insane when you got 6 kids. Anyway, well, some people might say you're already insane in the membrane if you got 6 kids, but I digress. I always digress. But on Johnny Funko, Funkos are another rabbit hole that they've been trying to pull me down. I'm up to 37 now. So I go in these live streams where like Beer to Pop or other live streams, people got a lot of followers. And I'll say something about, man, I got way too many Funkos. Really never thought to have any Funkos, let alone that many. And they're like, how many you got? I got 37. They're like, okay, well, I got like 3,000. Okay, well, yeah, but you don't have almost 8,000 comics either, right? So, let's put this in perspective. I've got all those comics over there that are trying to vie for space in my office, as well as all those pops. And so it's a challenge, and they're fighting against each other. So I try to limit myself to pops that I don't have like action figures of, which is another rabbit hole too, like with the Mezco figures. Whew. See, this is cathartic, right? It's like confession time. I have 323 Funkos. Hi, my name is Johnny, and I have 323 Funkos. Hey, Johnny. Hi, my name is Jason, and I have 37 Funkos. Hi, Jason. Of course, Johnny might say, you don't really have a problem. You only got 37 Funkos. I remember back in the day when I had only 37. But anyway. Hey, good night, Groyman. Good night. Good night. Good night. Have a great, amazing day, or a great, amazing night. Yeah, so it's like you don't even really have a problem. You only got 37, but see, then I have 11 comic books. See, it's perspective, right? I told you I almost have 8,000 comics, right? Um, so then you get these right here, which I'm supposed to be getting a case from. And we'll see. The other thing with me and Pops is that I don't. I guess it's a two-edged sword because I don't like to take them out of the box, and so I put them in a protector, and I don't take them out of the box. Well, then they take up more room. But the flip side of that is that I can stack them to a degree. So I guess that's a good thing. So then you have things like this. But I'm supposed to get a case from oh crap, IKEA, and these guys are going to be going into in front of my TMNT number one. I've got Mikey over there, and Donnie is on its way. So finally, the brothers will be back complete, and we'll get them all lined up and focused up in front of um, that TMNT number one. And so that's what I plan to do. Like with the action figures, like I got that Cable action figure. I'll probably rotate in that cabinet the toys and the comics like that are connected to those out, similar to the way I do my wall over there. And then that way I don't ever get tired of looking at them, right? And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, brand new. And it's easy enough to do. I mean, it can be a pain, taking them all down off the wall and putting them back where they belong in those boxes and all that kind of stuff. But it's fun, and it gives me a chance to get the books out if I hadn't read them yet. Because all my new stuff I read it, so I'm not behind on my new stuff. Just the stuff I bought today, yeah, but. But the other stuff, I bought so many comics so fast. I'm going back and reading them. So, like right here, I'm reading my Batman run. So I started at 300. This is 313, and so that's what I'll do. I'll just go get 10 and put them on my desk and just start reading them one by one. And finally, I'll get through them like that. And if you notice, that's kind of a big book right now with the whole new Batman deal. And I got that Joker at a killer deal. I mean, people were selling like 200 plus bucks, and it's a really good shape. And so I'm all arted out. It's mine, and I got it. It was priced like 2 years ago, and the comic shop didn't update the price, and so it was only like 20 bucks. So really good deal. But yeah, comics and death metal. Hey, what's up? Ian, what's going on, man? How is it going? I said something about Pops, and then Ian pops in. Saw what I did there, right? But yeah, and so it's fun. I got my Wendigo. If you noticed the show that I did on my Louisiana comic crawl last weekend, which I plan to do another comic show in a couple of weeks up in Jackson. And so that should prove interesting. That's the same place I got my Detective 400 for $1. That's right, 400 for $1. But I got the Marvel Legends figures when I was at Creamer Cash Comics a couple of weeks ago. And so it had the Wolverine and Hulk. Well, you got to have a Wendigo if you're going to set up the 181 scene, right? So I bought a Wendigo at that show the other day. T-Pain, what's going on, man? How is it going? How is it going? Any book you look forward to reading as soon as it comes out? Yes, there are a couple of them actually. And sadly, I don't know if sadly, I mean, I guess sadly for the other publishers, is a lot of them are the indie ones. Firepower is one of them. Something's Killing the Children is one that I look forward to reading as soon as they come out. And that is how I'm not trying. I am culling down my new comic book day pickups based on that. So these were all buys for the giveaways and for sales. So these are the ones right here. So there are a couple of ones that, like for instance, that Snake Eyes Dead Game. So I had a couple I mentioned that are really cover buys, and I'm a completionist by nature. So I said, well, there's only a couple more, so I'll go ahead and finish up that set. I just bought it for that reason there. But what I do is I'll go through here and I'll just shuffle them into the order that I really want to read them in. And that's the ones that are on bottom. If they continue to be on bottom, unless it's a short series that's about to be over with, then that's my way of saying, okay, I really shouldn't be continuing to pick this stuff up. Aggressive relaxing says, I was watching something else and ran up the stairs and my phone in my hand. I hit something and now I'm here. I really can't be my life. Well, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Glad you're here. Hopefully everybody's got out to the comic shop today. Johnny Funko says, I only collect Venom comic books. Well, I would say that that is a very good niche to be in, but with the King in Black, there's a lot of Venom going on right now. But used to, there was like only a slim deal. There's some expensive Venom books for sure. K Dog says, I just started collecting Something's Killing Children. I need 1 through 8. Now, what I did with Something's Killing the Children, I didn't get on there until much later in the run, and those number ones are already getting crazy. The number one's already crazy. Now, I did pick up the foil version of number one that the local comic book shop day that they did not that long ago. So what I did, I just got the trade. Don't ask me why I can do this with some books and others. I go, no, I have to have the floppies. Don't ask me. I don't know. I kind of think it's an indie thing versus a new thing, but it's not even. So I'll give you an example. So Gideon Falls, which is now ended, and Oblivion Song, which is an ongoing. It's still ongoing, rather. But I think it's probably going to be ending soon. Both of those I got on late to the game. So Image, this is Boom, but Gideon Falls and Oblivion Song are Image titles. So Image, what they do is they do a really cheap first graphic novel to try to lure you in. It's really smart marketing, really. So that's what I did. I got like the first few graphic novels, and they were so good. I went back on Oblivion Song and got one on. I didn't do that with Gideon Falls, and I didn't do that with Something's Killing the Children. I don't know. Collecting sometimes just doesn't make any sense. But you do whatever, you feel is right for you, and, don't worry about nobody else. But this is the first 5 issues. And so it worked out really good for me because I think I got on issue 6. So yeah, I mean, I didn't have to go back, and now Jenny Frison does some killer covers on that. So maybe one day I go back and get at least a number 1. But see, the rabbit hole for me personally is I'm a completionist. So somehow in my mind, I said, okay, it's okay that you don't have 1 through 5 because you have 6 on. But if I go back and get 1, I'm going to say, well, I only need 4 more. And there you go. There you go. So that's the deal there. K Dog ready to spend some dough. Yay. Debating on getting the trades for early issues or the floppies. Yeah. I mean, you just got to do whatever you feel. I mean, some people read digital. I mean, on occasion I've read digital. So, I mean, there's obviously nothing wrong with that, but I really like the experience of reading the paper versus the digital. Even when I would buy like on my Kindle, my iPad, my Kindle app on my iPad, and was reading graphic novels that way. So that's how I was still reading comics before I got back into collecting comics, was from that. And so I gave you the example a while ago, and collecting just doesn't make sense sometimes. Batman, I had already read the New 52 for the most part through those novels. But when I got back into collecting, I collected all 1 through 52. So, what do you do? Number ones have a million printings. They did back in the day. They don't so much now, but they do when you figure up the first, second, third, fourth, fifth printings and all that kind of stuff. So Mark says called up with the trades as well. Yeah, I mean, so that's whatever floats your boat. And, to be honest, some stories read better in trade. But the deal is, the other thing you were talking about or asking earlier, what books do you just can't wait to read? And if it's a book like that, you don't want to wait till they get to 5 or 6 issues in, and you're 5 or 6 issues behind. You can tell that's a good book. And something's killing the children is that for me right now, because it's just that good. There's a couple of lull issues. I don't know if there's any comic series ever that's never had a lull issue. But and I think nowadays it's not more about being just a bad issue or an off issue. Nowadays it's more about how they separate these things for graphic novel purposes. So I think the story goes too fast. They'd write a lull issue just to fill up a graphic novel and have so many issues per graphic novel. But it's been pretty fast paced, and a really good story. Really haven't found all of there is to know about the House of Slaughter and all that kind of stuff yet. But yeah, it's good, but it reads fast as a floppy. Definitely reads better in trades, right? Because if you're reading a lot of books, especially, or just life, right? You get to the next book and you got a general memory of what the last book was about, but it's a month later. You slept a lot since then. A lot of stuff's happened in people's lives, and then the next thing you know, what was? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. Then you got Agu saying, going to walk the puppy, but I'll leave the stream up to help with the algorithm. Yeah, you saw what he did there? Saw what he did? But yeah, and I didn't expect to go too terribly long tonight. I had those couple of mail calls as well as the stuff that I got in today. And wanted to go live because I'm lazy and didn't want to pre-record a video and have to. I don't do editing, but I do splice the intro and everything else together. So that's called work. And so, anyways, but yeah, that's all I've got. Hopefully, everybody's doing great out there. Plan on being on Thunder God's channel tomorrow night doing an auction. Traveling Root Beer, what is going on? Traveling Root Beer, he's like basically the DM. Did they call it a DM on the Star Wars version of that though? I don't know. But he does, they do a show on Saturdays, I believe, doing some role-playing games for the Star Wars universe. Kind of interesting, especially with the current cast of characters that they have. That deal. And there's several other channels that do it, the traditional D&D type deal as well. But sometimes it's interesting just to pop in and watch, because I do remember playing that with the guys back in the day. Okay, Game Master in anything that's not Dungeons and Dragons. Gotcha. Hey, now we're going to get the weather report. Go ahead with the weather report. It's partly cloudy with a chance of storms. The high tonight, 58. The low tomorrow, 22. Thanks for watching. Anyway, yes, he is the bard that likes to do nothing but aimlessly wander and sing his life away. And then we've got Hyper Combo Comics. What is going on? It's close enough. Southern Comic Hellion or something like that. That works. But anyway, do appreciate everybody for stopping by. But yeah, so Thursday I'll be doing that. I'll probably have a video go live either Thursday or Friday, because I've got some pretty big mail calls coming in. Then Saturday, I'll be back on the channel live with the Saturday morning cartoon crew, Shortbox Padawan, Lady Fantastic, myself, Wolf Blitz, and probably Tacoma Comics, VK on Comics. He'll be there as well. And then we'll be trying to sell some books. And so if you're looking for anything in particular, hit me up on IG. And I'll relay the message to everybody, see if anybody, sometimes I work deals offline, so to speak. It's online, but it's offline. Anyway, his finger slipped. Pause. So, but yeah, so I work deals on the side with folks and work that way. Or there's stuff sometimes that's in my PC that if somebody said, "Hey, I'll buy that from you," I'll sell it. But otherwise, I just leave it in there. A lot of the stuff that I got every so often I cull through. Not enough, not nearly enough. I don't ever cull out as much as goes in. So, you know, 10 are waving bye to the collection while 20 are saying hi. You know, what do you say? What do you do? What do you do? What's a guy supposed to do? Not buy comics. Yes, I know, but that's no fun. But anyways, I'll be doing that. And what is going on? Shattered Glass comic reviews, man. How is it going? Whack Comics is key stuff over there. See what I did? See what I did? And so go check out Whack Comics, Hyper Combo Comics, always over on Newbie Comics, which I asked, when does he officially not be a newbie anymore? He's already got 1,500 plus subscribers. Is he a newbie still? Really? Doing the kind of the spec show that they do, and ever so often he likes to touch on points. Pause on the Spinetics channel. And so, yeah, go check out the folks in here that you might not recognize, because you'd be surprised about how much you might have in common with them, regardless of whether they're Southern comic geeks or Northern comic geeks, Eastern, Western comic geeks, or whatever. We have probably more in common than we have different. And that's kind of the cool thing about the comic book community. Remy Q Studios, you're still dodging the question, man. You're dodging the question. Okay. I want to know about the dance moves. Cabbage Patch, Tootsie Roll. Where are we at? Where are we at? Yeah. You're a meat popsicle. Be careful. Hyper might want to touch on that point. So, yeah. So, I mean, I could see Remy Q, you know, he's got this green screen thing going on his videos. I could see him really breaking it down. I mean, getting up and just like breaking it down, doing the Cabbage Patch. You know, and the Tootsie Roll, just as long as he doesn't twerk. Okay. Perry does the twerking and lurking thing. Okay. Just don't twerk it. It might be a little too much. You might get banned off of YouTube or something like that for doing twerking. Might want to leave that for the misses at home. Remy Q dancing will be my new favorite thing. I'm waiting for it. You know, I hear this talk about it. And if one night we were on Two Brothers Comics channel, and so Dustin got to talking this smack about Kiss from the Rose, Kiss by the Rose, that Seal did for the Batman movie years ago. And he made this smack talk about, well, you know, if somebody gave a super chat, I'll sing it. And so I said, put up, big boy. So I gave him a super chat. Well, Remy Q, he's not there where he can get those super chats yet. Otherwise, I would have put a super chat up and said, all right, big boy, let's go. You're talking this dance smack in front of your wife and everything, but I want to see a video. So what? This is no contest, Batman. I mean, you know why? You want to know why? Do you really want to know why? Because he's Batman. I mean, that's why. You know, he's prepared for everything. He's got Krypton in his utility belt. There was a Batman I was reading the other day. It was funny. Which one was it? It seems like it was one of the older ones. It was a newer one. And they had him, he was captured, and they were taking apart his utility belt, and they were cataloging everything in his stuff. And he's like, hang on, we still got plenty of things to go. It's kind of a nod back to the old deal of Batman having this utility belt that had everything in it. If it had everything in it, there's no way he pulls off the moves that he does. You know, but he has shark repellent and You know the deal. You know the drill. It's funny reading these Batmans, the 300s that I've been reading, because there's um, enough campiness to make it fun for me. But yet it's enough darkness. So he really hasn't, by the 300s, got to that Dark Knight type persona. That really didn't happen until Frank Miller did the Dark Knight Returns type deal, and then they went and started moving Batman, the regular titles, towards that. Um, you don't ever know. I mean, I think Ben Affleck was okay, and I wouldn't have thought that initially. I think they all have their place, except for George Clooney. I don't know. Well, and Val Kilmer too. George Clooney was just way too much corn for me. Too much cornball. That's saying something for me. I love the anarchies. Yeah. Yeah. I picked up the first appearance of Anarchy the other day. Did I pick that up from? Oh, I know where it was. I picked those up when I was down in Louisiana. Uh, yeah, and that might be a fair point because sometimes you can pull off Bruce Wayne, but not Batman. So yeah, that is a fair point. Because they are two different personas, right? Um, I used to like those Batman. My Lord, I think we all have done that, and you go back and look at stuff that you liked as a kid and go, "What was I thinking?" I mean, you think about the haircuts of the '80s. Who was in their right mind that had a mullet? Okay, this is not somebody that lacks hair now that is just saying this jealously, but who wears a mullet? Okay, I mean, who does this? But the little tails that people used to grow, and was real fashionable. It's like the frizzy hair, of course, the '80s hair bands and all that kind of stuff. Um, Batman and Robin still enjoyable for the sheer train wreck that was. Well, you don't like it, gravel his voice. Yeah, I'm not the one they need. I'm the one they deserve. But you're the one they need, and you just do it like this. It was fun to me. Exactly. That would be really cool for him to put on like a mullet. So yeah, that would be really cool. He's working on growing out hair for a Volk. You could do the Dumb and Dumber thing, right? Lloyd Christmas. Pretty bird, pretty bird. I thought he was really quiet. I just thought he was really quiet. And how'd you get that stuff? I sold some stuff. What'd you sell? Petey. Petey didn't even have a head. Have a head. Don't worry about it, man. I took care of it. Classic. Oh man, that was funny. Um, Honestly, Ben Affleck was the best Batman to Bruce Wayne ratio, even if it's not the best each their own. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I'm kind of taken to the Michael Keaton Batman just simply because I remember going to the movie theater with on Batman, and actually when I left the movie theater, I went to um the corner store, which is not too far from my house now, and picked up my first Batman comic, and that was the first appearance of Tim Drake. And so I got a copy of that signed by John Beatty last year. I gotta go. I gotta go. Just go in that bottle. Ooh. What you drinking there, boys? It's nothing, officer. No. Go. Just go. Just when I thought you couldn't get any stupider, do anything else so dumb, you go and totally redeem yourself. Oh man, it's hilarious. So I was in Spain a few years ago. I was in a hotel where everybody's speaking Spanish, right? So you don't know what nobody's saying. And they had that playing on in the lobby, and I could literally watch that and say word for word what they were going to say, because that it's just impression, the impressions in my mind. Oh yeah, them laughing at that guy having a heart attack. Oh, please. Oh man, it was hilarious. Yeah, and the thing with Bruce Wayne or Michael Keaton was that, like Robert Pattinson and some of these others, that nobody gave him a shot. It's like, because he was all comedy. How can he get really serious? And so, yeah, so it's like, could he really do it? And he pulled it off. Batman 1 was better than Batman Returns. Did I say that? And hey, they have Michelle Pfeiffer, right? Um, yeah, and I had the Batman toy that had this belt, would pull out, and if you pulled it would pull up, like he'd used with Vicky Vale. Remember, he said how much you weigh, and he ended up having to tie the belt to her and drop off, and it's like, I think you weigh more than that. So it's like, you told Vicky Vale this? You told Kim Basinger that she was too fat? I mean, what is your thinking here? Shorty, what is going on? How are you? How are you? I fully believe that Pattinson and the Batman will absolutely knock it out of the park. It'll be the first time that they have a comic accurate movie. So, yeah, maybe so. Well, and I think the expectations are probably kind of tapered down a little bit with everything that's going on. So, it probably should be easy to exceed those expectations, but hopefully it's successful. Um, Talking about the Batman uh, toys. So I actually still have the Joker figure from the '89 run. This is my original Joker figure. Kind of ironic, I wore what I did, right? But yeah, so he actually had the little squirt bottle that would squirt out his flour like it did in the movie. Didn't spray any acid, just water. But yeah, this is my original toy there. Check out that little do that he had there going on there. I don't know what all that's about. How did he get his hair just perfectly parted? So, here's a story of a lovely lady who was dreaming of three very lovely girls. Yeah, I even had Bob. You remember Bob, the thug? Yeah, that was kind of cool too. So let's see what I'm gonna do here. Clipboard. And so I'm going to don't plan on being on here. And those famous last words too terribly much longer. But if anybody wants to join me in StreamYard, you're welcome to, as long as I recognize you, because we don't want any little Vernons going on. And for those of you who do not know what I'm referring to, there was a live stream where they let somebody on and he decided to expose himself. And he listed his name. Now, whether or not that was his real name or not, I don't know. But um, Uh, but anyway, so he showed Little Vernon, and so and YouTube straightway took it down. So as it should. Leaving for work, yeah, maybe next time. No worries, no worries whatsoever. But hopefully. So, and for those of you who might not have came in early enough, I did show off these books right here that are going to be part of my and talking with the Varangian Vigilante about his and about Conan, and that is going to be on the 13th. Yeah, so on the 13th, which is a week from Saturday. So be sure to hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of that. But we're going to be giving away some Conan, and as per usual, give away something as related to what we're talking about. So Conan the Barbarian Exodus, number 1. Conan the Serpent War, number 1. Conan King 21, nothing spectacular that I know of, just an old Conan, and then also Avengers No Road Home. Number 6, signed by Mark Waid. So there you go, right there. Those will be given away, and some more if I get those red Sonias in on time. I bought some on a YouTube auction last night, and got the seller to hold them because he's supposed to be doing some other stuff for me. And but if they get here in time, because it just depends on the mail. Who knows? Who knows? And Varangian is actually Thurston. Get out in a minute. He's actually sending me an AOK. So thank you for that. And if it doesn't get held up in customs, maybe it'll be there in time for the show. So hopefully so. Well, hey guys and gals, because I know there was at least one gal in here. Shorty was in here. Do appreciate y'all hanging out. Be sure to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification if you haven't already. So when videos like this drop, you will know about it and you can make the conscious decision to watch it now or later. As long as you watch it, we appreciate you. Be sure to enter the 900 subscriber giveaway. So that is a good segue to showing you this as we wrap things up here. Be sure to go to the 900 subscriber giveaway announcement video. Hit a like button, the like button on that, and also leave a comment I want in, and you can enter to win when we hit 900 subscribers. This Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel Omnibus, which collects all of these works right here, and they're related to early appearances of all these Guardians of the Galaxy. And then if you haven't already, check out the IG post I did the other day with this lovely print on here. This is G.I. Joe 275, Mike Mayhew goodness right here. It is signed by Mike Mayhew, but you're probably not as much worried about that signature as you are this right here. And if you haven't already, go to that post, the post, and also tag 4 people in there. And if you tag 4 people in there and you are a follower on Instagram, then you can enter to win that as well. So check that out if you haven't already done so. And we've got a visitor, somebody traveling through. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? I don't think we've ever been on at the same time except for Spine Ticks once.
Yeah. So I got to ask you about your name, Travel and Root Beer. So you obviously have an affinity for root beer.
Mm-hmm.
I would take it that you like to travel.
Yeah, check out my channel sometime. I haven't been doing any recently because of COVID, and I started getting into real estate the last couple of years, so I've kind of been focused on that. But yeah, me and my wife, we've been all over the world.
So you see this right here, right?
Mm-hmm. I noticed your pins last time I watched you, and I was wondering about those.
Yeah, those are the places I've been. And so, Thailand and, all in Europe and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, my wife and I, normally I travel just me and my wife.
Right on.
Not the rest of the kids because I've got 6. But a couple of times we've done some things all together, but not usually. So yeah, it's
my
fun.
wife 5 years ago, we backpacked Asia for 6 months.
Oh wow!
All on my channel. my channel was rocking there for a while, and then I didn't travel for a few years, and I just didn't do anything with the channel. And now that I'm into the comics community, I kind of revived it. Not just the comics, but I mean I do other things. That's kind of like what the root beer thing is on my channel. It's just all the things that I like that are not travel. And I'm close to 1,000 subscribers. Well, not yet. I mean, I'm right at 800. I think I'm like the next subscriber will be number 800. But I had 700 subscribers before I even came back these last couple months.
Okay. So, are you from New Orleans? That was my first thought with the root beer thing because Barks, but
no, I'm in Indiana.
Okay.
I haven't been to New Orleans since I was like 12.
You ain't missed much. It's no cleaner. Katrina didn't clean it out. What it did, it just got back dirty again. But well, cool. So you are the game master, the resident game master over on your channel. Is that on Saturday nights? that y'all
Friday.
are doing? Friday nights. Okay.
And possibly in the future another night too, because I was thinking of once a little more interest got built, which there seems to be quite a bit of interest around it. It's blown up rather quickly. Putting up maybe a post on Instagram, seeing what other scenarios besides Star Wars people might want to do, and possibly putting it on another night earlier in the day for all the people that can't get in on the Fridays.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, if y'all haven't checked his channel out, go check him out and give him a sub up, and that way you won't miss any of that stuff. Now, when you say you're getting into real estate, are you selling real estate or buying real estate?
Oh no, I own a duplex and I ran Airbnb out of it for over a year, and now I have a long-term tenant. And this COVID crap kind of set me back when I was actually probably going to buy a quadplex last year, but I held off just because of all the uncertainty.
Yeah, because that's one of my hobbies is real estate.
Right.
Yeah, so
We got a lot of
yeah, I owned a mobile home park. I sold it. I manage one now as an aside. It's not my full-time job, and I've got 15 houses, something like that, of my own. And this is hence
You're
the
where I want to
monopoly.
be.
What's that?
I said you're where I want to be. So
Yeah, so hence the Monopoly board is just an affinity for real estate. I actually got to do the non-fun part of real estate and go to an eviction hearing tomorrow. So first time I've ever had to do that.
So what happened about 2 years ago, actually almost exactly 2 years to the week, my wife and I bought this place here. Well, we bought it. We actually closed on it at the beginning of April, but it was right at the beginning of February when we went into it. And this is a restored, like, it's a 101-year-old house, but it was like restored and turned into a top level, bottom level duplex.
Mhm.
And we moved into the bottom, and then we were renting the top out. But we were originally running, because we're really into Airbnb. Like, that's the whole time we backpacked Asia, we used Airbnb. I've been all around the U.S. using Airbnb. But we ran 2 rooms out of the top, and then we ran one part-time down here with us. And we did that for a while till COVID happened. And then we combined the top one and made it one. And then I've had a long-term guy up there. He's a short-term, long-term guy. He came originally through Airbnb, and he kept extending his contract for work until it just became indefinite. So I've just he just pays me weekly. He's honestly the best tenant you could ever ask for. So.
Yeah, it's interesting down here where I live at. Most of the people that own real estate, they do not do things electronically. All my applications are all online. I go through my website, which syndicates out to Zillow and all those kind of places. And I posted a house yesterday, long-term tenant, had to move with his job, and long story short, and posted a house yesterday, and my wife's phone just blows up because that's what my wife does. She shows the houses, and the renters all pay electronically or take the money to the bank here in town. So I don't collect rents, even at my mobile.
Mom was an agent for like 13 years. But I collect, but obviously when I was doing Airbnb, it was through Airbnb. But with this guy, we just do it through Cash App.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I had a tenant introduce me to Cash App, which was really interesting. And so, yeah, they do Cash App, Apple Pay, all that kind of good stuff. There's a Stripe facilitates the payments through my website. I only have like 1 or 2 customers that will pay it that way. But yeah, so it has to keep low key for me because otherwise it becomes a job, and it's really just my hobby / retirement type deal.
See, that's what I'm looking at. I don't want to. I mean, I would like to have 15 houses, but my goal is more of uh, I'm targeting toward like a certain income that I want. You know,
Mhm.
my goal is to have enough income from units that will pay not only for my living, but I
Mhm.
want to max up both my wife and I's IRAs every year just from units alone.
Yeah.
That's my goal with that, and that's why I like duplexes and triplexes and quadplexes. Like I
Sure.
said, I got duplex here. I totally would have got a quadplex last year if there wasn't for all the uncertainty. But if things start clearing up, which it looked like a lot of it is, then I'll probably by the end of this year get another one.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes plenty of sense. What I did was I bought the houses. I bought site built homes at a discount, and then uh, they were undervalued. The former landlords were landlords by default, so those are never good,
Mm,
and so the rents were too low, so on and so forth. So went in there with minimal work and maximized the value. Loaned out those houses to buy mobile homes from the bank that I totally redone, and they're on free and clear.
oh, awesome.
So the houses pay for themselves.
Yeah.
They're a tax deduction. That's all they are. But as far as cash flow, the cash flow is the mobile homes. That's
We
kind of
got
my
we
deal.
got a really good deal on this place because the guy that had it, he was renting it as a rental house for a couple of years, and then he got people out of there. Or when he didn't get them out when they left, he decided to gut the place and turn it into a duplex. And he sold it to us without anybody living in it, so it was completely new when we got it. Everything brand new, appliances, everything. I did a little bit upstairs, and then I'm the one who put the air conditioning in the place. Um, and I did the landscaping. But he wanted 132 for the place, and I talked him to 122. So, and we're very convenient downtown location, like walking distance to everything. Um, so I was really happy with how that, and I've got all kinds of equity in this place by now because of all the work I've done to it,
Mhm.
because of the landscaping. Oh, we did. The biggest problem with the place was the landscaping. I did some serious landscaping last year to it, and then the air conditioning, and then just some. He didn't have any appliances upstairs except for a fridge and a stove. I put the washer and dryer up there and all that, and microwave, and you know, I made it a fully furnished unit, and then I covered the bills up there. It's on its own electric, but I cover that, and then I've just like I said, what I'm doing with this guy is he pays me $250 a week, all expenses paid. So and I've never had a month go above the minimum on the water bill, and the electric up there is cheaper than the electric down here. So if I make 1,000, most months have 4 weeks, so I make $1,000 a week. I pocket like 900 of that almost every month, except for in the wintertime, it's a little more expensive with heat.
Yeah, sure.
But no, I'm happy with the situation now, and I'd like to dive further into it.
Yeah. Well, we kind of veered off the beaten
We
path
did.
talking about from comics, but and I see we had some people jump off. They said, "No, we don't want to hear about this real estate stuff. Go to
Yeah.
pockets for that, right?" But but anyway, so well, we could chat offline. I do appreciate everybody for hanging out today. Be sure to smash that like button. Go enter the giveaways so you don't miss on anything on that. Check out Travel and Root Beer's channel and give him a sub up. And until next time, keep reading and keep collecting.